Here we're all equal. Just make you fall. Intellect starts to launch you. Concepts is fun. Launch you. She's the one who launch you. You know where to come. Jeremy spoke. We're going to get into it. Hannah did her first interview too. Okay, Curvies, come on in. Come on in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being with us today, because we are about to listen to Jeremiah's first interview. Okay. We're going to listen to Jeremiah's first interview today. And yeah, I'm up early. I already did some things, and now I'm going to do some other things. Bianca, yay! Jeremiah's not coming back, girl. He's not coming back. He did an interview with Nick. That means you're not coming back. Hannah did an interview with Nick. That means you're not coming back. So, yeah, but we're going to listen to what he said. Okay. Got it. Paste. So let's give people, all right, 4 people are here. Dustin, thanks for coming through. Are you guys watching Love Island? Are you stuck like me? I just can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I am obsessed. I tell you, being able to have interactive television instead of just sitting on my couch watching is such a freaking awesome experience. I'm telling you, I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. Live chat. Started a goal. We started a goal on the channels for some couple of supports up in here. Yep. Okay, Curvies. So we are going to listen to Jeremiah Brown first interview. You may or may not know, on Love Island, he got voted off by, let's see, can I do a little history? A little pregame setup for the people on why we are so into Jeremiah. Okay, because Jeremiah unfortunately got hated on by, where are they? Here we are. Is this one? Okay, so this was a video that we did. This is Ace. This is Taylor. This is Andriana. This is Huda. Um, this is Nick. And this is Jeremiah. So on Love Island, the way that they are telling me it goes, the diehards are the people who have to tell me stuff. Okay, so the diehards are telling me that this is the first season, season 7, where in the USA, where day oneers of the villa are turning on each other and very plotted about their game. And to the point which everybody else who's diehards also is like, they ruined the experience. They're ruining it. I told you guys day one, anybody who talked about the $100,000 possibility was definitely ixnayed. Okay. So they didn't mention the $100,000. They just keep talking about the game, the game, the game, the game, the game, the game. But they're there for a social experiment experience. They literally are supposed to experience the other people and see if they have connections with anybody else in the villa. And then once they have a connection, then just like in real life, then those connections are tested and you are thrown into a situation with all new holes to choose from and all new personalities and all new colognes to smell. Okay. And so usually Casa More is later in the season. Also, And Casa Amor just happened in episode 19. Um, Jeremiah got voted off in episode 18. And usually they don't go to the Casa Amor till like episode 25-ish. And every episode is a day. So in episode 18, it was day 18, and Jeremiah got voted off by these other people who came in the house with him on day one. And everybody's speculating it's because they're haters. And I did a whole thing on it because warning, jealousy. Look, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Look, I'm from Oakland. I keep telling y'all, I'm from Oakland, California. It's not home of the rock because the government made that shit, but that's where they dropped it off first, okay? And look, look, look. Listen, Linda. Cal men, men in my like how me and Dr. Heavenly have ideas about what men are, right? And to me, men I know usually mind men's business. They're not getting into women's business or other men's business. So those are two key elements of man behavior to me, right? So for Ace, Taylor, and Nick to be so into this whole other man's game, telling him he's not playing his game right while they're not worried about the game they're not playing right was very telling, and to me screamed, "Ah, I'm insecure! Ah, I'm insecure!" It screamed, "I'm insecure." Okay? It screamed that perhaps, Ace, he's 5'10. My husband's 5'10. I'm only 5'5. My son is 6'2. My other son is 6'3. And my 12-year-old, his nose is up to here right now. So he about to be taller than me too. So I don't have an issue with 5'10 people. I'm not talking about his height in particular. I don't want him to be like, oh, everybody's calling me short. Like my friend told me, people know, I know I'm fat. You don't have to call me fat. He knows he's short. You don't have to call him short. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to like shame anybody or make anybody feel any worse. Also, on this show, Love Island, season 7 in the Americas. I think they're on like season 12 in the UK where it originated. And there have been a lot of self-unalivings from the participants and a hostess of the show, all unalive themselves. Trigger warning. PSA, dial 988. If you're thinking about doing that, you can get some help. They got mobile units that can come talk to you. Okay. So the fact that they've had this for an experience where various contestants and hostesses unalive themselves because of backlash and negative comments that they come home to. Ariana from Vanderpump Rules did a PSA basically at the after show. The after show is like Watch What Happens Live. It's called After Sun. So Ariana from Vanderpump Rules. And remember, Ariana got broke up by Raquel, who she told to go F herself with the cheese grater. And when America went in on Raquel, old girl right here, that's kind of what I imagine her look was when Raquel was getting it from every which way from America. Raquel was slut of the century because she happened to couple with Tom Sandoval, who was living with Ariana, who had coupled with Tom Sandoval when Tom was living with Kristen. So to a lot of people in the world, we were like, hey, you get what you give. If you made your hole available while he was living with someone, then you should have kind of expected that another hole coming through while you're living with him was going to be entertained just because pattern power, you know what I'm saying? And also, yeah, thanks for hitting that heart. I appreciate that. Let's get some people in here. Let's get the peoples in here. So, Ariana did a PSA and she was like, don't be leaving bully message. Don't be contacting the people's family. Don't be coming on under posts and saying rude things. And don't be is what she said. But people like me, unfortunately, I remember things that maybe they want me to forget. And I remember clear as day, she did not come to another woman's aid when she was in dire straits and had to get put in a mental facility. And she was still talking trash about that lady. Okay. So, hey, maybe it's growth. Maybe it's self preservation. Maybe they think that she, of all the people, should know when a line should be drawn now that she's had people cross the line on her behalf. And I just didn't, I feel like right message, wrong messenger is the bottom line for her to be the one that's like, don't be, don't be, don't be. Okay. And also, so I don't want to shame anybody. I'm not here to bash anybody. Kudos to these young people going on a show, having the nerve to show us like they spit in their hand. They don't mind getting milk spit in their mouth. They'll do anything for $100,000 and a chance at love, including play a great game. So I just wanted to do that little PSA. So the backlash happened though when these guys voted him off. America lost their fucking minds. And like I said, I'm new to Love Island. I didn't start watching till I started watching on day 12, and I had to catch up 12 episodes to get caught up to start reviewing this show with you guys last week. And I told you guys how Mama Curves is in on it. Yeah, I keep apologizing for having my mom watch softcore porn. Yeah, because that's what they were doing. And I told you guys, my mom is a reverend and everything. And when Hannah spit in her hand, she was like, did they just? I was like, yeah, mom. She was like, ooh, the girls these days are kind of fast, because my mom just would have never. She's only ever been with my dad. But we're not judging people. Like Hannah said, her body, her choice. She could have screwed all the men in the house if she felt like it. That's what Hannah said. Okay. And she right about it. She could have screwed all the men in the house if she felt like it. But she didn't. We know she did Pepe, and we thought she did Charlie, but she did not say she did Charlie. So I'm not going to attack that body on her because she seems like pretty open. Like she would just tell us if that body should be tacked to her or not. Okay, let me see this. So Mama's running hot. So I got my Angela Oakley. Put it right here by my hair weave. But this is really my hair. Act like I don't want my edges to ripple. Woo. I'm in here talking too much, maybe. I would have had the window open. It's only 68 today. But then you guys will be able to hear the garbage trucks come by today. No, Milo, you're not coming in here because you're just going to want to go out and investigate the freaking garbage trucks. Okay? Let's see. Oh, that's not that. Okay. Let's do that right there. I'm gonna do that. So you guys know the players in the game. You guys know the players in the game. And now we're going to listen to Jeremiah. Look at the people come. Palaver's here. Mamera's here. Dustin, Bianca, my wonderful Curvy crew. Thanks for coming through. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. If you haven't already, you know the routine. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. So you can get notified next time we upload a video. All right. All right. Ooh, okay, I think the heat flash is passed. I'm telling you. Did you know heat flashes last about 7 years? So for premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, you be getting the heats, okay? Ooh, okay. Yes, let me see. Palaver says Ariana can go kick a rock. Don't care it. Don't care for any bully in PSA. That's what I'm saying. Right message, wrong messenger. She did not stop a soul from abusing Raquel. I was very team Raquel in that situation because I'm like, everybody on the show been with everybody. How is it a problem when Faith did it and when Raquel did it specifically and everybody else on the show gets a pass? Like, I just wasn't understanding. And fine, you were with him for 10 years. Kristen had been with him for 5 years when you slid it with him on the show in front of everybody and then denied it, but it was obvious. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, right message, wrong messenger. And I was really like the nerve. And I'm gonna tell them myself. So if you guys go to the Love Island USA page on their Instagram, they posted they did it at the end of the episode. Don't bully our people. They did it on their Instagram page, Don't Bully Our People. They did it in their version of an after show with Ariana saying, don't be calling and bullying their families. And so they just are keep on, because look, Americans have no chill. They have said that the people in the UK don't respond this way. That is specifically an American thing to be like, "Nee, nee, 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 nee," with our thumbs. We're thumb assassins. We're like, "Da, da, 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 take that, bitch." Da, 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 da. So my thought is, and I'm gonna read it to you too, because I was like, you guys kind of did it to yourself. Wrong messenger. Wrong messenger. Okay? Because anybody who's been watching the episodes or who's catching up on the episodes may or may not have noticed. Where's Huda? This is Huda. Now, Huda is not Latina. She's Palestinian and Jordanian. And she's the first time they've had a single mom on the show. And her and Jeremiah, they were each other's type from day one. And she was leaving hickeys on him from day one. So she was marking him from day one, and then insisted by the end of their relationship that he had actually love bombed her, which is the shout out Juicadora. Go listen to her hit single Delulu. Okay. Because that's what that bitch was. Delulu. Okay. You're leaving hickeys. He's constantly telling you stop leaving hickeys. He's constantly being like, you kind of lie. And but then she would like throw her body on him, and he's a young chiseled man. So maybe he liked when she would put the arches on his thigh, and he couldn't really think right. So he wouldn't really go explore anybody else. And then plus, none of the other girls wanted to talk to him because he had the ick, as in hick ease on his neck from Huda. And like in high school, those were like so telling. Like, you're marked, bitch. You literally smell like urine. If you have hickeys on your neck, you literally smell like a version of urine because you're marked. You're marked. The dog may as well just peed on your leg. You're theirs. Okay? Because that's what she was doing in a place where you're literally there for an experience. And when he moved on after America tells him to move on, because I think he was paying attention a lot better than Alondria, he was like, America said, go with Iris. I'm going with Iris, and I'll come check on you when I get a chance to check on you. And your emotionally manipulative, emotional vampire ways of trying to get me to do what you want with these almost white lady tears is not working on me, to the point where I'm going to run back over there and talk to you right now, Huda. Anyway, okay, I'm talking. So, and we're supposed to be listening. So over on the Love Island thing, they did this clip. Oh, we got a first look. We just got a first look. Is this a new first look? Oh my gosh, go to their page. Okay, so they typed this. I'm gonna take this off real fast. Take this off. Come over here and say none. Hi, so you guys can see this. And see, so this is their Love Island page. It says, we appreciate the fans, the passion for the series, and the amazing group of Islanders who are sharing their summer with us. Please just remember, they're real people, so let's be kind and spread love. Okay? And they said, and stop looking at people who follow and come up with judgments about them. And the people are saying, insane for you guys to say this when you all let Jeremiah get emotionally abused in the villa. So we're not allowed to show our feelings, but Huda's allowed to crash out. Can you see him better now? Jeremiah's a real person, and you producers didn't. Ooh, choking. I have the fan pointed over there, and it made me catch my throat. So Jeremiah was verbally abused by Huda for 2 days, you guys. For 2 days, 72 hours, well, at least 48 hours, that bitch crashed out on him. emasculated him, called him all kind of bitch ass niggas, bitch ass, bitch asses. You're not a man. You're bitch. You're not a man. I mean, she almost, she wanted to call him a BAN, but she didn't go that far. But a lot of people are like, I think she caught herself. So anyway, the producers allowed that to happen. There was no intervention, and nobody came to Jeremiah's aid. Even the other men who ultimately voted him off were like, she only called you a bitch. Like, what's the big problem? Okay. Now it would have been a problem, I bet, had it been that was getting cussed out by this little girl for 2 days. It would have been an issue. It had it been him cussing her out, calling her a bitch one time, would have got old boy off the island. I'm positive, because we're still about America, and we know what happens when we do stuff, right? So the comments, Jeremiah was bullied. Everyone, by almost everyone on the entire effing show. Thanks for the reminder, but may we remind you that you allowed Huda to abuse Jeremiah on national TV? But Love Island allowed Jeremiah to be verbally abused, assaulted, and not a member of production stepped in. But you allowed Jeremiah. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody saying the same thing. Let's make sure the Islanders' Huda are also being kind to others and not yelling and screaming and throwing things. Fan favorite Islanders have to stop getting dumped. Tell Ace to be a little kinder to my girl Amaya, but y'all let grown men get bullied on the show. 100% be kind and mindful, and tell Huda this as well. Y'all say this now. I fear the damage may already be done. Talk to your production team first. Maybe if you guys didn't edit every clip to make it look like the Islanders in a certain way, then this post wouldn't be necessary. At the end of the day, these people know what society is like when it comes to social media and judgment, and they are the ones signed into everything away for a reality show. The fact that they know how the show goes and how people's lives have been affected coming out of the villa, yet don't take any precautions to protect their dignity, is not the viewers who make you money run this fault. And so she's just saying it's not the viewers' fault. Mind you, you're getting a garden gnome to run the house. I think they're talking about Ace. Cussing someone out and spamming death threats to people is not the same. You hold for your own self. You guys get a hold of your own self. So let me see. I was Please leave Huda alone. Everybody has a right to crash out. You're a bunch of sensitive people, so don't watch the show. Simple. Y'all take everything so serious. Just enjoy the show. Interesting. Y'all need to hold your cat accountable with the same way. Ace has been bullying Amaya, and you let Tuda unchecked. So I made a comment and I was trying to tell you guys, listen, y'all are weird, wild. How about accepting accountability for airing a mental breakdown and verbal abuse and not holding one person accountable for the verbal abuse? Y'all producers knew what you were doing and aired all that toxic mess. And now you police in America? Police yourself. We shouldn't stay quiet when someone is being verbally abused. If it was a woman being verbally abused, y'all would have kicked that man out and posted a message on abuse with a phone number at the end of the episode saying, if you or anyone you know is experiencing abuse, call 000000000. You producers are the ones who need to remember that these are real people and that they have real feelings. That's your job. Literally, you have a midnight ballerina terrorizing the cast, and then you have the audacity to try to send everyone home but her. People are in their feelings, you guys. These comments are crazy. So it's not okay for Huda to act like that. Agreed. But there are a whole lot of Huda sympathizers. And once you guys see the actual show of the things that she has said to this man and it was allowed to go on, I feel like, me and over here on LRGA Curves, we talked about it before. I started this channel because I wanted to talk about the harmful stereotypes put on Black people and that are further propagated about Black culture and the Black experience, because I often feel that our reality shows do love to push a narrative about an angry Black woman, a dysfunctional family, we can't get along, like all just the stereotypes, when we are, in fact, a blueprint for how society can live amicably and in harmony. You know what I'm saying? But the programming on mass through this communication device called televisiones, or the cybers, or whatever you want to call it, does not really highlight that. And even when they were given the chance on shows like Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Atlanta, they always divert and revert back to the lowest base stereotype to continue that programming. And then when other people from other countries walk up to a Dr. Heavenly, they think they get to treat her like she's on Love and Hip Hop and not a doctor, because the programming of these shows allows people who never had an interaction with a Black person to think it's all right to go up and act like that with them. Think that it's all right, like they're down with that. Think that it's all right, like the Hudas of the world walked into this villa on day one. Two Black girls walk in and they're all nice and everything. And then Huda walks in and she doesn't say, "Oh, hi girls, hi girls." She's like, "What's up, bitches? What's up, bitches?" Because in her mind, the stereotype allows for you to not call me my motherfucking name and address me as bitch the first time you see me. Really, bitch? You know, get your merch. The link is in the bio. We got really bitch gear. Okay. So that's part of why I even did this. Um, and it's really important to bite back, I think, on production in this way and let them know that we see this for the bullshit it is. And we know for a fact that had the tables been turned, this is my first time at the island, and I already know for a fact if it was a Black girl going off on a guy like that, and if it was a guy going off on a girl like that, no matter what color. So yeah, they're gonna have to deal with what they're gonna have to deal with until they get their own racist slip right. Okay, because your slip is showing. So this person said, here we are. She messed up and apologized to the person she messed up with. Verbal abuse and lashing out and speaking from anger once is very different. And believe that Jeremiah was a victim while he's telling Huda one thing, he's telling everyone else another. He did not give Huda any real effort and was seemingly doing things that would keep him on her mind. That was abuse and toxic. Please. They're crazy, you guys. They're crazy. I don't know. Wait. I don't know. My thing froze. Are we back? 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 Are you guys here? Well, I'm going to read these comments while my computer catches up. Every time, I'm telling you, ever since Friday when 45 sent those things over to Iran, all of my things have been spinning, freezing, getting caught up. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. Am I here? I hope I'm here. I think I'm frozen. Let's see. Yeah, I'm frozen on my finger. Darn. Yeah, I'm frozen on my finger. Darn. That's so weird. I'm here. Still dark, but you're here. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back. My timer's ticking. There I am. Can you see me now? There. I think I'm back. Okay. I've been doing too much. My little phone. And it's on 45%. I'm going to have to go grab my charger. So, yeah. So it's a big deal. And then we get Huda sympathizers who are like, "Oh, she just cussed out a Black man for 2 days. He deserved it." Jeremiah didn't do shit to deserve that. But we're going to listen to what Jeremiah has to say over at the Nick Viles. I was really trying to tell on myself because I did leave a comment, but it looks like all the other comments actually are just like mine. And we're saying, look, you brought it on yourself, pretty much. Pretty much. That's what happens. They brought it on themselves. I was like, you can't let somebody cuss somebody out for 2 days and then turn around to us. And I'm like, you all started it. You set the precedent. We thought we were like in a cuss out for you and a cuss out for you and a cuss out for you because you allowed it to happen for entertainment towards a black man. So why can't she get it for entertainment from us? I don't know. It's just, yeah, a lot of stuff's happening in the world. Please never have anyone on again with over 10,000 followers. I'm here for Love Island, not Influencer Island. I don't know what that's about, but from what I understand, part of it is to look at the follower count of the people. And I showed you guys the other day that one of the guys, he already went from 0 to 1.5 million followers on TikTok in 2 days, you guys. That's the power of this show. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107, a Copyright Act of 1976, fair use is made for commenting, research, education, and criticism. So, we're using some copyright stuff today. And it's going to be Jeremiah Brown with Nick Vial. I think he was like some kind of bachelor dude or something. And so we're going to be listening to this. I have it sped up. I hope you guys can get the gist of it because I don't want to play it on its real time. I don't want to have no problems. But I'm really looking forward to hearing what he says. And let's go.
So nice to meet you, Nick. How are you? Nice to meet you, man. Big fan. I'm excited to talk with you. I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Thanks so much for having me. I definitely recommend.
Okay, real fast. Let me get at these comments first. So, happy Wednesday. Yes, Ariana can kick rocks. Yes, Joel Husby loves it when Curves sings, ring my bell, ring my bell. So you can get notified next time I upload a video, right? Yeah, I love that song. I used to love that song. You can ring my bell. You can ring my bell. Ring it, ring my bell. Palaver says, yes, my mayor, largely. Oh, no, wait. Oh, thanks, you guys. Voice is fire. She sings yes, that tickles my fancy. I have Tourette's. I'm going to have to make a shirt about that too, because I have Tourette's for sure. Not to be confused with Tourette's, which is what Portia says Angela Oakley has. Still dark. Yeah, we're back now, though. Are my hands moving? Does it look like I'm eating? This means I ate. Does it look like I'm eating? Wait, I think I have to go. Am I supposed to put my fingers down? I ate. Nick Vial. Yeah. I don't really, he's not my flavor. Oh, it's still dark? What the hell? No freaking way. I don't know what's happening, you guys. But you can hear me though, right? I don't want to have to leave and come back. But you can hear me? Can you hear me now? I don't want to have to leave and come back. But you can hear me? Can you hear me now? I don't want to have to leave and come. Yeah, see, I just was talking about the harmful stereotype to black people and they cut my fucking feed, you guys. You see that? I'm not coming back. I'm just going to let it play since we can hear it.
Guys, your face now, I see you. Okay. Well, I was like, okay, I've seen them before. All right. Oh, you ready to rock and roll?
I'm not
Let's do it.
back.
Jeremiah, I appreciate you joining the Vial Files. Welcome to the show, buddy. Thanks so much for having me, man. I'm happy to be here. I guess it's to start, how are you feeling? I mean, I say this to every Islander I talk to, but I'm always just kind of blown away by this experience that you guys go through where you enter the villa, obscure people. Some of you guys have followings more than others, but that being said, you come out international stars. I know it's Love Island USA, but this is the show that's being watched around the world. Megan Thee Stallion's a big fan. You got all these major celebrities just enjoying the show, talking about you. Where is your mental health right now? Is it all are you still coming off the sadness of your unceremonious exit, or what is it like? Yeah, what is it? Just what's going on? I'm trying to get it. sense of your headspace right now?
Honestly, my headspace is I'm definitely leaning towards more gratitude because I ain't gonna lie. When I came out of there that first night, I was pissed. Like I was trying to keep it calm, cool, and collected, leaving, but I was pissed. I was like, damn, my comeback story, got cut short. Like they just seen how happy I was. I was doing things, right this time, and I still got the boot. So I was like, damn, bro, I was lucky mad. But then the more, I'm talking to my family, I'm talking to people here, and they've been amazing. So now I'm just grateful and excited to see what's been going on because I don't know. I've heard bits and pieces, but I don't know like a lot what's going on because I still don't have my phone. But yeah, no, I'm just like gratitude. That's all I can say.
Well, that's good that you're in that headspace. Yeah, it's I have a lot of respect for all of you guys because I just don't think people fully appreciate like it's just not normal what you guys go through. Right? It's just like I mean, first of all, like getting famous on reality TV is a trip already, but like you guys, you're getting famous in real time. Most people, they go on a show, they film it, they get done, they go back to the families. That's like a whole whirlwind. They get some time to like get back to normal. Then like a few months later it airs. That's a whole different experience, but you kind of prep for it, right? And then like you can be with your family while like you're online, and then here you just come out, to the fucking noise, and it's crazy, man. Well, before we get into all the Love Island stuff, I wanted to get to know you a little bit. Like I think people are dying to know who's Jeremiah Brown. How do you end up on the show? Everyone's got an opinion. Like people come out of the woodwork and be like, I know that guy, I know this guy. So I just love people to hear it from you. So let's just start with the obvious low-hanging fruit questions. Like how did you, Jeremiah, end up on Love Island?
How I ended up on Love Island, basically, I had just moved to LA 2 years ago, and they reached out 2 years ago, but I had a girlfriend at the time, so I was like, no, I can't do it. I'm in a relationship. Da, 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 da. But then they reached out after we had broken up, or she broke up with me. I can say she broke up with me like a month after, and I was like, you know what, this would be just something just to get me back out there, just to get me back out there. Yeah. And like it seemed like a cool opportunity. Like I've seen couples come out of it, and I was like, okay, this seems like an actual legitimate thing to do. And yeah, I got a DM on Instagram. I was like, let's do it. And then I just kept progressing through the things, and it just kind of kept me after getting broken up with you're kind of sad. So it just kept me like something to like hope for, hold on to, I guess. And I kind of got fun because okay, let me go. Not date around, talk to girls to get myself back in the flow. So
did they like follow up with you because they noticed like, oh, this guy was posting with this girl and now he's not posting, or did you kind of hit them up, be like, hey, well, I'm single now?
No, they reached back around. That's why I have so much respect for them because they double checked. Like, hey, are you single yet? Like, basically, right, in a respectful way. And then also, one of the producers, Ben, I work with this jewelry company, Jackson, and like he gets the emails and he was like, who is this guy? So it's kind of like 2-in-1. Like he wanted to know who I was, and then they also already reached out to me.
And at that point, you were pretty like dead set on like, like hell yeah, like let's do this if they ask me.
Yeah, for the most part. I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty scary because I'm like, damn, I don't want to go in there and embarrass myself. But I got the point I was just like, I am who I am. I feel like I've done a lot of work on myself. So if I go fuck up, then that's who I am, I guess. So I was just like, let's do it. It seems like an amazing opportunity. Once in a lifetime. Like being one of 5, it was just like the biggest blessing I ever could imagine. So
were you a fan of the show? Like, did you watch it much, or were you just like kind of familiar with? Like, what homework did you do going in?
Oh yeah, I was definitely familiar because my little sisters, and actually all my sisters, have watched the UK version and a little bit of the USA. Because when I said DM, they started freaking the hell out, and I was like, what's going on? Because I've like walked by them and they've been watching it. Like I hear the accents, so I'm like, what the hell is that? So I've seen it a little bit, and then I was definitely familiar with it. I watched 3 episodes of season 6, and I was like, I think if I watch any more, I'm gonna psych myself out of it. So I just watched 3 episodes and was like, let's go see.
Yeah, right. It's always like a balance between like it feels like Ace did a lot of homework. Sorry, Ace, I was a little bit of a dick. But yeah, it's a balance between like knowing what you're getting into. I always tell people like in reality TV, or like certainly I always tell fans, right? Because like a lot of fans will love to be like, well, they know what they signed up for. I'm like, when it comes to shows like this, you have no idea what this is like until you experience it. Like it's just if you know, and if you don't, like you can watch a million shows and like it's just not the same being in it versus like being a fan of it. And like it doesn't matter what your contract says, it doesn't matter what a producer might say to what you can expect. Like going there and being in that crazy environment is no one knows what it's like until they set foot in that universe. Yeah, it's crazy. You mentioned earlier that you've done a lot of work on yourself, and obviously this is a show that it's fun, it's scandalous, it's messy. But it's a dating show, right? And like everyone who watches this show, like why we love these shows, why we love reality TV is because like it's like a fantasy way to like look at dating in like in real time culture, right? And I think obviously fans, and I hope you remember this when you get your phone back. It's just like, listen, fan is short for fanatic. So whether someone's there telling you how great you are or telling you you're a piece of shit, they don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? They're just fans. They don't know, right? But we do as fans because everyone who's watching is projecting, right? They're just projecting like, they're watching it because either you remind them of someone they dated that screwed them over, that you remind them of themselves. We like to watch you guys make fools of yourself or like, be vulnerable because it's just easier to watch you do that than like look in the mirror and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that all being said, like your fans, I think a lot of people who are fans of you, here they saw that. How old are you again? 25, right? So they saw this young man in his 25s, good looking guy, right? Like, I'm assuming you've gotten this before. Where like, you got a face card where it's just like he's probably a douchebag. Like he's too good looking not to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe hell, like when I was your age and I was young, I think when you have opportunities, you have to cut your teeth and you have to like take your bruises and you have to like look in the mirror and reflect on like I think we all make mistakes dating and things like that, right? So I'd love to hear a little bit about your dating story. About like for me, like when I was in my early 20s, I was like a serial monogamous, right? I was kind of like a love martyr. Like I had these like parents who like had a great relationship and they taught me a lot of good things about love, but it was almost like I almost like took it a step too far. I was fighting too hard for relationships. I was like falling in love too quickly. I know people are throwing the word like love bomb around in 2025, and like it's not. It doesn't mean what it used to mean back in the day. But like I was falling fast, right? I was getting caught up in my emotions. But that being said, I'd love to learn about you in terms of like what was Jeremiah Brown like when he first started dating, like late teens, early 20s? Like how did you carry yourself in relationships? And when you mentioned doing the work, what did that look like? And what kind of steps in your mind did you think you made?
I was young. Okay, I would say in college, like I never dated. Like from like I didn't have a girlfriend until I was 22, 23. So I just like would find a girl I liked and just talk to her for like 6 months, talk to her for a year. Like I hated labels. I hated like I didn't hate, but I just didn't want labels. I wanted all that freedom that came with it. Like anniversaries, I didn't want to do any of that. And then I finally got into my first relationship. And a month in, I cheated and I didn't know how I could do that because I prided myself on RB books. I'm this guy. I'm the best. So yeah, like two years ago, a month into my relationship, I cheated and I had to look at myself in the mirror. So I'm like, oh, I like trumped myself up my head to be this great guy. And I was like, okay, how come I didn't have the strength to say no to this girl? Like, what made me like not strong in that moment? So I was like, I gotta figure this out because not only did I hurt someone I love, I hurt myself. And then I went to therapy. I'm still in therapy for like 2 years now, just to see like what was going on. So that's what the work looked like. 2 years ago, I started therapy.
Now, if you're comfortable talking about it, like when you say you cheated, like did you like have sex with someone else? Like how did you come clean? Like
Oh yeah.
How did it all play out?
So boom, it's one of my best friend's birthday is in the I invite my two like friends, like my genuine friends of homegirls that came over, and it wasn't pre-planned or nothing. And then we all got super. I don't want to blame on alcohol, and I don't want to talk about the alcohol part, but we all got super lit. Right, went out to the club, came back, and she followed me to the bathroom, and I didn't have the strength to say no. I could have said no, I didn't. And then it happened, and I walked out. I called my mom because I didn't have my car because it was in LA. I said, "Mom, come get me." I'm fucked up. And it was instant regret. Got home, drove and told my girlfriend immediately. Like 3 hours later, I told her what happened, and then we broke up, got back together, and then I started therapy and just started working on myself because I was like, how could I have done that when I thought I was just a great guy?
It's obviously not cool what you did, but obviously like not everyone comes clean right away, and more than that, more people just feel like as long as they say they're sorry and then they talk about doing the work and they don't do the work and like.
So far, good idea, Palaver. Because that was a little minute, and he's answering some questions that are really interesting as far as his dating history. He said on the show, he said he's loved people several times, but he only ever had like, he was limited on his experience, and so he just confirmed that. And then look and that's what I'm saying. I was disappointed when they got rid of Jeremiah. He's emotionally intelligent. He has a high emotional IQ. He's self-aware. He's grounded. He has self-reflection. All of those components make him ideal as far as a non-toxic male. Yet they voted him off and made it look like he's a toxic male. Let's keep listening. Because you're not a toxic male if you cheated on your girlfriend, immediately told her, and are still in therapy because you question your own self on how could I say I'm a good guy, but I still went and stuck my peen in that lady in the bathroom. Like, that is totally self-aware. I have never met a man who does that. Never have I ever. Okay? So for him to be the one that got cussed out for 2 days by a crazy cow is just more ludicrous to me. Thank you, Palaver.
Credit to you for like jumping into therapy and trying to actually take actions to improve yourself. Like you're gonna make a lot more mistakes in life. You're only 25. Like all we can do is just try to get better. Obviously we'll talk about you in a little bit on, but like obviously she's caught a lot of heat for how she's carried herself too. But like I've been Huda. You know what I'm saying? Like I've maybe not like.
Okay, and I keep saying you guys have heard me talk about Huda. And I showed you Huda when I could before my freaking screen went black because everything has been spinning since 45 went and got his ass or got our asses over there in the stuff in the conflicts. Now my electronics are fucking not working right because I believe we're under some kind of cyber attack, honestly. But it's low key to the point where shit's just spinning and blacking out. So you don't really think anything is wrong, but something's motherfucking wrong. Okay?
Exactly how she's done it, but like I you know what I'm saying? Like I've been like fucked up from love and shit like that. What are you comfortable sharing in terms of love?
And I told you guys how I have been Huda. I've been Huda before. I told you guys, look, me and my husband, we've been together for a long time. And when I was Huda, they did not have a cell phone, you guys. They did not have they would have had to use a camcorder to catch me in action for the Huda I was. And luckily It's not going to be in perpetuity for my kids to see. It's not video on demand for entertainment. So in that regard, I'm chilling on Huda. Like, we've all been Huda. I put the glue in the locks. I tore the windshield wipers off. I cussed him out. I just all kind of shit I've done. I've been her. I've been so insecure and lacked emotional intelligence to the point where I allowed my emotions to get the best of me and show my complete and entire ass to anybody who was in the vicinity with my actions. You know what I'm saying? So I've been Huda. But it does not negate or excuse Huda's choice to do that on TV and then keep on doing it and keep on doing it and keep on doing it. Like, she would calm down and then come back. She would go eavesdrop and then come back. And the producers at no time ever protected Jeremiah.
Like, what you learned about yourself through therapy in terms of like just kind of understanding yourself. You know, nowadays, like, we watch these shows, a lot of people want to like diagnose these characters, like attachment styles, things like that, or just maybe even understanding love languages, how we connect with our partners and things like that. Like, what did you learn about yourself in terms of like how you know, receive love, show love, things like that?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, you know, being a model is a lot about attention, and like, I've had freedom for 23, 22 years of my life, being able to do whatever I want. And I hadn't had to flex that muscle of saying no, not even to make an excuse, just I didn't have to flex that muscle of saying no, especially being, you know, messed up. So it was more the fact, like, yes, having to flex the muscle of saying no and not having been in a real relationship and like learning, like, okay, like, you have to make not even sacrifices, but like, if you're in a relationship, that means you're saying no to everything else. And that's what makes this yes, you know, so much better. And so at the beginning, it was just like not needing attention from other people, because I love attention. Like, always, like in high school, like whether even when I was ugly, I loved attention because I was a class clown. So it was just like needing attention, being ugly, needing attention, looking good. And then now, like, the latter part of the work was just like getting rid of like the guilt and the shame, because I carried.
Aren't the finest ones, they used to be like ugly sometimes. So he's saying that he used to be the class clown and he considered himself ugly, but now he's fine and a model. Mm-hmm.
That guilt for like over a year and a half of what I did, because it really messed me up. It was like, how could I do that to someone? So I carried that guilt for like a year and a half, and then that part was like the main thing was like not lighting myself on fire to keep other people warm, and that's what I did. Like the latter part of the relationship was just like trying to do too much to make up for what I did like 2 years ago. Sure. And so that was like the last part of the work was just like,
hey, Kathy. Yeah, I'm glad you popped in. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, the merch is showing up. I see the little square up there, but only voices. I'm still working back here trying to see if I just keep pressing buttons, maybe it'll just come back on the way it went off. But so far it's not. Thanks for hanging in there though, you guys.
putting myself first and like self-trust and getting rid of self-doubt and like self-love and stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's tough too, right? Because like, you know, you enter a relationship, people want to know like, have you ever cheated before? It can follow you like a scarlet letter, and it's just like you want to own it, but at the same time you want to be like, man, like, do I have to? How long do I have to talk about this shit? Here you are talking about it now. It seems like you're processing it in a healthy way. Like, how long ago did your last relationship break up when the conversation about going back on Love Island started?
It was she broke with me February 8th. Damn, okay, I should have maybe I should take more time recognizing that. February 8th, and they hit me up at the end of February.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, cool. How long was that relationship?
Like a year and a half, August 2023 to February 2025.
Did you give her the heads up that you're gonna go on Love Island or not?
Nah, we had each other blocked at the time. We had like a really we broke up, and then we had a really like solid ending, and then one day it just got Then one day it kind of just blocked each other and everything. So she has no idea. And honestly, I don't know what is going on with her either. I hope she's good though.
Okay.
So as it turns out, she has come forward. She was like, we were talking last week, and now he's in Love Island. So yeah, he'll find out in his phone when he finally gets access.
Yeah, but you got nothing but love and respect on this assuming.
Oh, for sure. No, she's amazing. Like, I wish her the best. She's gonna do good. Like, she's amazing.
Well, we're not big on trends, but we are big on clothes that feel good and last, and that's why we keep going back to Quince. Natalie and I absolutely love Quince. Get them, you will love it.
So while that spins,
for your neighborhood, and if your backyard is set again, any room in your reason for you kind of coming in there and being so focused on Huda.
Honestly, like, that's not who I am at all, because I've only like been in love like 2 or 3 times. Not that I was in love with Huda or even told her I loved her, but yeah, no, like, I've never been that type. Like, my only girlfriend, we started talking in January and we didn't date till August, so it's like 8 months, you know. But with Huda, it was like, I'll tell you why I did the cheat kiss. I didn't. They could steal, right? And I was like, me and Huda had this crazy electricity between us, and I was like, I kind of panicked. I'm gonna keep the whole stack. I panicked, and I was like, what can I do to not get stolen? Okay, I can get the cheat kiss. So I wasn't even that already liked her that much. I just didn't want to get her stolen to keep the stack. I was like, I want to really avoid this. And then once we had 2 or 3 combos, I was like, holy fuck, I really want to explore this. And then not gonna lie, like this was a mistake on like both, but we got really intimate really soon, and that kind of set us up for failure, like the rest of what happened.
Okay, so he acknowledged that. So okay, on the first night, the women came into the villa on day one. The men come into the villa. The women get to go kiss the man they like. The Huda kissed Jeremiah, and Huda kissed, I think, was it Ace? Anyway, she kissed a couple people. And then Jeremiah, though, after that, wouldn't kiss a lot of people. And this is even before the whole cold sore gate thing that happened over there. Yes, they're trying to convince us it's from a football accident, but I've never seen a football cut look so bumpy. Anyway, so he's saying that him and Huda did get intimate, which, and by my recollection, I'm like, okay, so she finally told him she was a mom. And then she told him she was a mom like by day 4. And then she mounted him. I wonder what episode that was, but she definitely mounted him. And then America broke him up pretty much right after she mounted him. But it was only like day 5, 6, she had mounted him, and he's telling us that it happened pretty quick. So maybe they didn't show us that she mounted him before they showed us she did. Let's listen to him.
Yeah. And when you say intimate, like you guys had sex?
I'm not here to kiss and tell.
I respect that. All right, I gotta ask the questions.
Yeah, I get it. Like, we got real intimate real soon, and it kind of just like skips a bunch of steps, and that's what led to Yeah.
Okay. And is Huda like similar to women you've dated in the past, whether it's looks or personality? Like what made you what was that vibe that felt so strong? Where do you think that came from?
It was definitely like her gaze and the way she like when I think my favorite part about women is the way she looks at me, her smile, and like her smile and the way she looked at me was just so enticing. And then we had a lot of conversations about like values in the beginning. I'm not gonna be rude, but I kind of got like emotion fish. Like she's emotionally mature in her values, so we lined up on a bunch of those. So I was like, okay, cool. She checks all my physical boxes and a lot of my spiritual, emotional. So why would I go? And that was where my head was at. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do, but I don't regret it. But yeah, I was like, okay, she's so fucking dope. Like I'm not gonna ruin that and go talk to girls I'm not interested in. That's where my head was at in the beginning.
Okay, that makes sense. You were kind of caught saying like early.
I feel like, if the whole point is to get booed up, then how was it he didn't play the game right? Because he's still, no, with the hickeys all over him, he really wasn't pulling anybody for chat. So while you're in the house, even if you're booed up, you're still supposed to be pulled for chats, and that's to get to know you, or pulling for chats, and that's to get to know you. And we didn't see him do that a whole lot.
On, like, oh, if we win, and then you kind of correct yourself, make it to the end. So then obviously, like, honestly, I think it's kind of, half, most people.
Palaver, we already know we're sisters from other misters. Yes, mounted him on television.
Your cast comes in with like a heavy following these days. Yeah, that being so like I don't know, I kind of like I think it's almost like stupid when fans like like they came here to be famous. It's like they are on a TV show. That being said, like like do you feel like in any way you were kind of gaming the game or playing the game or certainly any more than any of your peers?
No, because for me, as you can see in the episodes, I can't fake shit. So when I was really unhappy and I was really messed up, I couldn't just say let's stay together because I could like I'll just say like the door recoupling. I know Iris isn't really my type, and I know she isn't really my type, but I still chose her, and I was like a roll the dice. I could have just chose her and made that relationship work, but I can't fake shit. So I wasn't really gaming the system. I didn't even look at it like that because I feel like if I was, I would have some plan Bs and some plan Cs, but I just kind of dove into one girl. So I personally don't see it like that, but I can get it like, oh, he's just so focused, he must just be here to win. But as you can see, when I was unhappy,
I hear you. So in terms of like you and Huda, obviously, like you guys were. I don't know if you know this, but
so when he went and picked Iris, America cheered because Huda had been so incredibly abusive to this beautiful Black man, and he's just a kid, you guys. All of them are just kids. Nobody's 30. We already talked about how people's hypothalamus which is your frontal lobe, doesn't even fully develop till you're about 25. Women mature faster than men. He's just now 25. And so it's just getting, intact. However, he is aware enough to know that you should do this or not do this, or you need therapy for that. And he was one of the most mature people. And what I heard him just say and tell on Huda was that she misrepresented herself and said that she had a high emotional intelligence when we see that shit is not true. Okay? It's not. And then as far as like being family oriented, but you already got a baby, no wonder you family oriented. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't tell me that till the 4th day. And I don't know. I've always also said that if it's going to matter day 4 that I had a baby, then I should have told you day 1, because that just wasted 4 days of Jeremiah's time in this house. Because look, if I only ever had one girlfriend, do you think I want the next one to have a baby by somebody else and all of the drama that comes attached with a baby daddy? Please.
Like, people were tuning in to watch you too. Like, love you or hate you guys, like whatever they thought about your relationship, you guys were must-see television.
Oh, sure.
Because it was honestly like so toxic so fast. From your perspective, like how much of the show have you seen it all, or you not seen any of it? Like,
I've seen a couple episodes. I watched almost all of the one I left on, and then I watched I skimmed through most of them. So I've seen some of them.
So I guess, I mean, obviously when it comes to shows like this, even though there's an episode almost every night, there's a lot we don't get to see. So one, like from your perspective, when did things start getting a little rocky? And then 2, we'd love any context of like important information that, what didn't we get to see when it comes to your and Huda's relationship in terms of like.
Yeah. And this is going to be really key. So let's listen good to what he says we missed, because they tried to paint him as a love bombing, gaslighting narcissist who told her one thing and then did another, which is complete opposite to a person who's actively in therapy because they cheated one time. So this whole fake fuck narrative that they're giving old boy is very troubling in a way, because he was the most emotionally intelligent person on set, even more so than the oldest women on set, which were Shelly and Alondria.
Why things kind of took a turn the way they did?
That's a great question. Honestly, things were amazing up until the day, I call it the pancake day. We won't get into it right now, but the pancake day. Things were amazing until the pancake day. So we had like a week, I think, maybe 8 days of just like, it was fire. Like, yeah, there were some minor things, but like we had so much genuine, like just such a crazy genuine connection off the rip. And where things started going south was like, I told her who I was in a relationship, and then she kind of took that as who I need to be now. And I didn't nip that in the bud. So I take responsibility. Like, I didn't sit her down and be like, yo, like that's not who I am. Instead,
see, that's what I'm talking about. How emotionally aware is this person to be like, I can take accountability for that because she misunderstood where I was coming from.
I said, you know what? You're right. Let me be Superman already. Because it takes me a long time to get to like, super boyfriend. And I was like, oh, with a relationship, I do.
Obviously, it takes him a long time to get to super boyfriend. He just told us that his longest and only girlfriend, they dated for a year and a half. He met her in January. They didn't make it official until August, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 7 months. Talk about a slow burner. Okay. And on the show, though, he couldn't even be that true to himself because he was already getting hickeys and mounted by day 8.
This. And she took that and was like, okay, that's you aren't now. And I'm like,
well, can you clarify what you mean by that in terms of like what you actually said to her in terms of like,
Yeah. So I was just like, I do the little things. I do the flower. I just told her how I was in my last relationship. The flowers, the restaurant, like anything like what a boyfriend does, like the cute things. I said I'd do all that. And then she was like, okay, bet. And then like the day after, she's like, why are you doing any of that? And I was like, wait, that's my own relationship. But I didn't say that. I said, oh, you're right. Let me go and try to do that. So I think I tried to be Superman instead of let her know, like, that's not who I am. That takes me months to get there, like that's not who I am in like 3 days into the villa.
Yeah.
And that's where the expectations just didn't get set right, and then the intimacy got way too much, and I didn't say like, "Yo, I'm not comfortable with this." I just tried to be Superman, and that's where it really got toxic.
So, like, obviously, Love Island has its own lingo. It obviously has its own set of rules, right?
I think that was a good assessment. Misunderstanding, intimacy too soon, and things got out of hand. And if you guys watched the episode, what had happened was he made her pancakes. The boys make the girls pancakes every day, and the rest of the meals are catered. And so in the morning, the guys have a chance to show the girls how much they care by making them breakfast, which is a role flip, right? Because usually women are cooking, but in this case, all the men are downstairs making pancakes, bacon, avocado toast, tea, and coffee, and bringing it up to the girls while they're getting their faces on and baking their faces and putting their weaves on and stuff. And so he brought her pancakes one day, and one of the pancakes was a little wet still. And she went and asked the next guy, after she had already mounted him, she goes and asks the next guy, can you make me pancakes? And then goes back to Jeremiah and was like, how did you just let Taylor make me pancakes? You should have been making my pancakes. He's like, bitch, I bought you canned pancakes. You didn't say nothing was wrong with them. So if you go out and ask somebody else to make a pancake, then just eat that shit and shut up. Why do I have to do anything with it? But he didn't say it like that. Large is saying it like that. And had he said it like that, then we might not have had the problem that we have with old Huda, because she would have known she had a real one instead of a nice, gentle man.
This whole like, are you closed off? Or you're not closed off. You're in a couple, but you're not closed off. People are like hooking up. You're not closed off. Like then all of a sudden you're making out with your friends during the challenges and things like that. Two-part question. Like, what conversations did the entire group, if any, have about like how this shit all works? You know, in terms of like expectations, or like what were expectations of the group, but more specifically, you and Huda. Yeah. Like, how did you guys navigate? You know, because like Huda, it seemed like Huda was just like, this is my man. You know, we were in a relationship. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. We were absolutely going to get married. You know, we are in love. And like, listen, I don't know. Like, if you feel it, you feel it, right? Like, again, in the real world, I've gotten in a relationship 2 days in and stupidly talked about like planned our future. Like I've been that fucking guy, right? I'm not gonna fucking fault, you know. But like, this is also a world where you're making out in challenges and shit like that. Like, did you and Huda ever like talk about like expectations of how you guys were gonna navigate, especially once you guys were like so hot and heavy right away?
Okay, so we know that she lied on the thing. He said something about maybe we could visit each other. She went and told the girls, oh, he said we can move in together after we get off the island. So Huda's a liar. And so let's listen to what Jeremy's side is of that.
What? Yeah, I mean, well, within the group first, like, they like for 2 weeks told me do this, do that, do this, do that, and I'm kind of like my own person. Like, I love to just do it. I can't fake it, so I can't like go pull a random girl for a chat because they tell me to. I was like, all right, for sure. So for 2 weeks, I was kind of like battling the guys. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I want to explore this. Like, I'm good. And at the same time, you know, I'm hearing like me and her get into it, but our expectations were just like the baseball challenge was the first challenge I think that really like she didn't like how I had to kiss a girl, I got to kiss a Maya, but at the same time, I would do little things to try to make it not that bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of pressure. Like, okay, let me do the challenge this way so I don't get yelled at later. Let me do the challenge this way so I don't get in trouble. And then we got to a point where it's just like before the lumberjack challenge, we're like, you know, we're just gonna enjoy the challenges fully, and whatever happens, happens. Like we're gonna, you know, we're still like, you know, not locked in, but we're still really close. But we have that freedom now to enjoy the challenges.
Okay. And did you like? How did you guys come to that decision to change up?
It was kind of just like, you know, we're here to play the game. I forgot what happened. Oh, she got really mad at me kissing Amaya at the goddamn baseball challenge, and I was just like, yeah, like.
So those of you who don't know, the baseball challenge, I think was the source of the thing that happened in the house. Everybody came out with zits and blemishes after that challenge. I'm not sure. And on the baseball challenge, the girls had to choose 4 guys to go to each base with. And each base, as in first base, second base, third base, fourth base. So you get to first base, it could have been a peck. You get to second base, it could have been a real kiss. You get to third base, it's copping a feel and a kiss. And then you get to home run, and he's lifting you up, and he's kissing you for the longest time. And he's squeezing everything. But everybody had to do it. Everybody. So Huda had to choose 4 people to kiss. She chose people and obviously chose Jeremy also. But he's telling us that she got mad that other women chose him too, and he had to participate. Huda's a barracuda, like you said, Palaver, the barracuda. Yeah, the guy who's her baby daddy does seem soft and nice also. Yes, and that's the kind she likes to steamroll these nice guys, you know?
I'm not gonna go through this the rest of the show. Like we gotta like the challenges are for the challenges. I want to participate. I don't want to be the guy. Like I gotta be myself. I can't just go into a challenge just hide and do the cheek kiss
Oh
the rest
my
of the show.
God, Palaver, sister from another mister. I've been saying the same thing. I'm like, he practically was SA'd and SH'd by Huda. He kept telling her, stop leaving these fucking marks on me. And he would wake up the next day with even more marks on him. She did not respect his boundaries at any time. She made it all about her. And for the producers to make it look like these Black men who have healthy boundaries and are transparent enough to tell you, because Ace did the same thing with Amaya. He told her in a very calm voice, look, I know I chose you and everything, but I'm here for the experience. I'm kind of digging Shelly, but I wanted you to have a chance for the experience too. I don't like being called baby. I don't like really being touched, but we can talk and get to know each other. He said it so calm. And that bitch, Maya, started crying. I don't like the way you talking to me. Why are you talking to me like this? You just wanted everything from me. Oh my God, you make me feel so bad. And then she went around crying to everybody else in the house about Ace made me do this, did that. And I thought to myself, am I tripping? I had to rewind it. I said, did he yell at her? Did he attack her? And then people actually the people are crazy. I'm already telling you that we're thumb gangsters here in America. And so the thumb gangsters came out and were like, how could Ace attack Amaya? She's so sweet. I'm like, now see, that's part of the harmful stereotype of Blackness, is that calmness is even aggression and attacking when we do it while we're being attacked. Okay? It's crazy.
I gotta go be myself and show people like who I am. I'm a fun guy, so it was just like that. It was like we both gotta participate and like be here to be here.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean it's I remember that first challenge and like I forgot who like jumped up and I'm like he's not even. I'm like how like these people can operate this way. Like it's like it's Love Island. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Holy cow. So I guess like just you and Huda, like, I think there's a lot of, if you're a Huda stan, right? Like, yeah, obviously she's caught a lot of heat, right? And there's a lot of people just like not understanding the way Huda's moving and things like that. And I'm sure people are anxious to like hear her perspective on things. But there's always like,
I'm actually not anxious to hear anything Huda has to say. Not really. I'm mad that I actually have to listen to her breathe on the TV any further after Jeremiah got voted off. I'm totally of the mind that had I been a Love Islander stan, I don't believe still that I would have agreed with anything Huda's done, or condoned it or agreed with it. Look, you leave space for the kind of toxicity that Huda is, and some people call it entertaining. Even on my housewife shows, I don't need a messy ass bitch to be entertained. I need a real, authentic, genuine lady to show me her life to be entertained. That's all I need,
The Huda stan, like they're of the perspective, like she's gonna come out of the villa, or you're gonna come out of the villa, and it's gonna be like a bad edit situation, right? Like, oh, we didn't get to see certain things, like stuff like that. Do you feel like overall, while they can't show everything from what you've been able to see or from what you've heard or understand how things were shown, you feel like ultimately the show captured the dynamic of your guys' relationship?
Respectfully, from what I've seen, yes. I still have a lot. I still care for her very deeply, but there was a lot of instances where we were just talking, and she would crash. I like to see things through the end, so I wasn't just going to give up on the first fight. So, but
watching you again, I'm a fan. Obviously, so maybe I'm biased, but like I saw someone who, it makes sense that you're in therapy. You seem like you're an introspective person, right? Like at times you reminded me of me when like you seem to like do your own thing and walk your own path, and like I've always dated women with big personalities, like different. There's a spectrum of big personalities, but like I want to be understanding, right? And as a man in 2025, right, we get a lot of notes, right? Ways where that men haven't behaved well in the past, things like that, how we need to step up and how we should maybe listen more than speak and things like that. So honestly, I saw someone like you who was just like, people like your critics would say you're not necessarily good at communicating your feelings. I saw a person who was just like kind of not.
Uh-oh.
Sure how to move from one moment to the next because it felt like you were getting a ton of notes. But like, if you were trying to understand your critics, what ways do you think you could maybe have better communicated with Huda, if any way at all?
I totally see where they're coming from, and like the main part is that when I felt things were moving too fast and the expectations were too high, instead of communicating that was too much for me, I did the opposite and said, I like you so much, I'll try to be that person I'm not ready to be yet. So that makes sense. Like I dead ass didn't communicate my feelings, so they're right in that regard. At the same time, it is hard because when you're on no sleep, it's like, okay, I don't want to like look like an asshole. I don't want to do the wrong thing. So it's like you do try to be more patient with everybody else and put other people first because you don't like. It's hard to have a clear mind. Like, okay, am I tripping? Is she tripping? So that's why I feel like I was extra patient and kind of like.
And that came across too during that whole altercation. It was like he was trying to like find his grounding, find his footing in the whole thing. Like, what the heck is going on? Literally. And she would not let up at all. She was relentless in her attacks on this man's peace of mind, on the entire villa's peace of mind.
Not went above and beyond, but I was like, okay, let me really hear her out for hours and hours to make sure, I'm like seeing who she is as a person. So yeah, but no, I definitely didn't communicate. This is way too fast for me. Let's slow down because I like you so much. I can own that. Like that was my main mistake, was not like telling her like let's slow down.
No, I appreciate that answer. Huda revealing that she's a mom was obviously a main storyline.
I'm a mommy,
moment, not only for
Mamacita.
the show, but for you guys.
I'm a mommy,
first, like,
Mamacita.
do you wish she would have told you sooner? or are you comfortable with like the time and how she, you know, opened up about her being a mom?
Honestly, it's hard to say because I have no idea what that is like in her shoes, and I don't remember how soon she told me. But honestly, I wasn't mad at her for not telling me yet because I feel like I get it. Like you don't want to come in here and say it's two sides. Like you don't want to come in here and say you have a mom because everyone's gonna think you use that. At the same time, like you want a chance to be yourself and not. But at the same time, you do have a kid. So like I see both sides of the coin. But I wasn't mad. I was just really caught off guard. Like I wasn't like mad that she like hit it for a couple of days, but I was like, I did get to know her, and at that point we were good. So I was kind of just like, oh shit, okay. Like I wasn't like,
okay. Normally, my wife is in these interviews. She's traveling right now.
I was of the mind. I'm glad to hear his take on it because LRGA Curves thought that, like I said, if it was going to matter on day 4, where he's saying it didn't matter, but I swear, you guys can tell me in the chat if you noticed also that after it was revealed that Huda was a mommy, I feel like his energy shifted a tad. And I don't know if the shift was just like additional information, let me incorporate it, or if the shift was, what the fuck? You're a mommy? Mamacita? You're a mommy? Like of a dog? No, of a daughter? Oh, wow, that's great.
Oh, she had a lot, you know, we're new parents.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. You know, and as a guy, I was like, listen, Huda can like reveal that however she wants, you know, but as a mom, you know, my wife, you know, Natalie, she, you know, I wish she was here to articulate this, but like from her perspective, she just felt like it sounded kind of odd that when Huda talked about having a daughter, it was always in the lens of, she always like centered herself. She was like, I'm a mom, I'm a mom, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
As if it was like, in a way, when you're saying, when she opened up to you, it was almost like, hey, I'm a mom. I don't want you to think of me any differently, or certainly like not be, you know, any less attracted to me. Understanding like, hey, as a mom, there's certain different responsibilities, you know, like it's not the same as like dating a 20-some-year-old like without a kid. But it almost seemed like the way she communicated it is as she expected like preferential treatment in a way, as opposed to like, you know, when Natalie says, she like talks about our daughter, it's like, I have a daughter. It's always like my daughter, like, you know, my daughter does this, and Huda was like, I'm a mom, I'm a mom, mom. It's like, did you see it that way? Or like after hearing, you know, again, like I got no.
Interesting that Nick is keen on this, because now that he's mentioned it, she is like, I'm a mommy, I'm a mommy, I'm a mommy. She's not really doing it from the kid's perspective. And I say I'm a mom, but I talk a lot about my sons and less about the mom experience. So he's kind of right on that. But I had not noticed it before. Palaver says, this is why I always am terrified. My boys were younger dating, right? I always thought some unhinged girl would trap them to be arrested. It's very scary. It's very, very, very scary. It's very scary. Look. And I tell my sons too. Look, there are some crazy, they will wrap their legs. They'll be like, oh, I'm on birth control. And then wrap their legs around you so you nut inside and be like, oh, I forgot to take it that day. This is your baby. Like, hey, there are crazy ladies, unhinged ladies that'll take the condom, get the turkey baster, get that little bit of semen and try to see if they can still get pregnant. They put the stuff in the freezer, from what I understand, and then put it in later. And I believe there's like even basketball, football player dudes with that as a story of how the baby mama got the sperm was because they got it off the tip of a rubber. Now, I'm not sure why the stuff to kill the sperm wasn't in the tip of that rubber too, because they do have rubbers with some stuff inside to like actually, once the sperm is ejaculated in there, then it, you know, blows the heads up. Right. So it doesn't, even if it did go in there, it's still not viable sperm. But yeah, interesting point, Nick.
No, this is I'm communicating, you know, from my wife, but like, does that make sense? And were there other people in the villa that maybe like didn't quite understanding how Huda was, you know, handling communicating being a mom?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean now, because I watched the episode the other day and it was like, she's just like me. She likes what I like. She's da 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 da. And it was like, so, not to bash on her, but like, it was a lot of self-centeredness on what you mentioned, which makes a lot of sense. Because like, my sister's had a baby, and it's all about the baby. Like, she used to see a mom, but it's all about the baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that you say that, it was definitely like a lot of, I'm a mom. The dog's just like me. I do this for her. I do that for her. I do this. So it's like, yeah, I kind of noticed that in conversation with her, which is why I kind of like started to.
Told you guys.
Ask me questions.
Oh my gosh. So I just asked you guys to leave it in the comments if I was tripping, or after he heard, even though he said he was fine, after he heard, I felt like an energy shift is in pulling away from Huda. And he just made that you can't see the hand movements because my damn screen is black, because I talked about the oppression of the black culture, and how the stereotype being propagated for freaking entertainment is a problem, and they turn my screen black. Okay, but I'm still here to tell you that Jeremiah just did his hands like together, and he's like, and then I scooted away, like he was getting away from her after she did say that about being a mom. So we were right on spots.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. That definitely is true.
You've got some criticism from people who wanted you to like ask more questions about her child. Did you ask more questions and we just didn't get to see it, or do you feel like maybe you could have handled it a little bit better now that you reflect on how that situation went down?
Honestly, most of the time we did talk about her, but I remember we talked a lot about her daughter at the date, and we talked a lot about her daughter on the pink couch conversation. We had a pink couch conversation for like an hour before Ariana got there, and we talked about her daughter for like 30, 45 minutes, like right after. And then after that, she went south, so we didn't get to talk about it. But yeah, we had at least 2 or 3 conversations talking about her daughter.
I thought it was like kind of, I mean, again, it's her story, so I get that she had certain ways of wanting to handle it, but like the way it was like, okay, I'm gonna tell Jeremiah, but then I'm gonna tell the women, and then I'm not gonna tell the guys, but then you can tell Nick. It's just like that seemed hard to keep up with. Did you ever ask
manipulation
her, like, why she decided to go about it this way? Because it just seemed almost like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't understand why she was so selective and secretive about just like, I mean, hey, you're a mom. Like I get it. Like I get the reservations. Like I understand that. Like I'm sure there's a lot of listen, the kids, like a single mom, kid. Not a lot of people are up for that responsibility and challenge, and I'm sure like that can feel like a lot of pressure. I totally understand that, but like at some point, just like own that you have this beautiful child and like just be a great part of who you are. But like, what was that like for you?
It was interesting at first because at first I was like, I have no idea what that's like. So like, I kind of just removed my judgment and was like, okay, let's see how this goes. So then she told the girls, and then I found out. And then I had to wait a couple of days to talk to Nick about it. So yeah, it was interesting, but I guess I see the fact that she just didn't want to be known as the mom at first and wanted everyone to see her for her. So I totally get that side of things. But it was like,
which is interesting that she didn't want to be known as the mom, but her hooking up with Jeremiah and coupling with him and hickifying him so soon, closing him off so soon, they actually got dubbed the mom and dad of the group before people even found out she was a mom. Okay, so she was still a mom.
For me navigating that, I couldn't say stuff to certain people about it. I mean, that's up to it.
Okay. When America voted and recoupled you with Iris, what was that moment like? Because at that point, like, were you guys? There was cracks in your relationship from your perspective at that point?
Yeah, definitely none that I've really got of. It was the same thing. I didn't vocalize like these expectations are way too high for me. Like we're not dating. Like I was basically in a relationship when we weren't dating, and I didn't say anything about that because I liked her, and I was like, okay, let's just keep going. And yeah. So once America did that, at first I was pissed because I felt me and the I just had a really long talk at the fire pit about just how we're gonna move forward, and then we got recoupled, and then I was like, as you can see, I'm just like, I was so caught off guard because I was like, okay, once Gianna and Pepe went for the recoupling, okay, I'm good. And then once America did that, I'm like, okay, they're seeing the shit I'm feeling, but I'm not vocalizing. But I don't want to be like, I don't want my ego to take over and be like, oh, this is a problem. Yeah, America's like got my back. So I had to like slowly try to pull out what America saw and make sure I wasn't just being like da 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 da. So yeah, once I seen that and I had the emotions I felt when it was Charlie or Huda leaving, I was like, okay, yeah, like there's something in this here that I need to communicate more for sure.
That night, something I definitely have to give you shit for, and I didn't understand why you couldn't do that, but like,
yeah,
it seemed like a weak moment for you.
Yeah, 100%.
To not pull Huda and like check in with her, and you were just like, I just want to go to my pillow or my bed or whatever.
Yeah.
So the night that he did that, I was okay with it. I mean, look, if you get to have a meltdown for 5 days because that's how you process, then I can process in silence. And I can be the complete and opposite of that. And we'll talk, but I'm not going to talk to you while you're screaming. I'm going to let my feelings relax after being abused verbally, after being emasculated in front of all my bros. And I have to just kind of sit here and laugh it off and act like I don't care when this is really hurting my fucking feelings. And where's my therapist? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what do you got to say about that?
No, that was by far a weak moment. I was very, I guess, disappointed how I responded to things, but I just know being there, I just shut down. And I don't really have an excuse, whether it's the sleep or whatever I was going through, but I just shut down. I told her that and I apologized like 2 hours about it. But yeah, no, I definitely just shut down. It's definitely one of my weaker moments. I wish I could have been there for her, but I wasn't, and I just have to own that. Like I shut down and I wasn't.
No, I get it. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for you, but I think one thing that people don't see on that show is the emotional and mental fatigue that all of you are dealing with 24/7. You got no support system. Like, yeah, you get avocado toast, but I'm sure so you just do not have the comforts of home. But anyways, you said you apologized for 2 hours. Is that what you said, or did I understand you correctly?
Yeah, we had a conversation the next day, I think, in the speakeasy for like 2 to 3 hours about Like, just like, what? Just like, I apologize. She basically was like, for the first 2 hours, actually for all of it, was like 2 or 3 hours, honestly, like maybe even 4. But it was just like, me apologizing for not showing up. How can we move forward? And then her just saying she's hurt the whole time. Like, there was no.
Okay, so Palaver, it won't show your comment. Oh no, there it is. It's showing. Okay, there it is. I made it show because they held it for something. No, Larja, that was another manipulation. Who just started the mom-dad rumor because she already claimed Jeremiah as the dad of her kid. Ooh, that's very telling. To quote you, really, bitch? To quote you, bitch, kid already his dad. He already has a dad. Like, what are you doing? And then, look, another thing I didn't really like about her knowing she was a mom, and then being like, oh, Jeremiah's my type. I kind of was like, so is he your type because he's black and most black men you think want to have a single mom? Or I don't know. I just didn't understand like that whole why you wanted him to be the dad of your kid. It's interesting. It's interesting.
I'm a conflict. One, I'm going to apologize, validate your feelings, and then I want to conflict resolute, or at least try working towards that. But really, the conversation speaking is just about just how she felt. And
yeah, to that point, I hear what you're saying. It was, I mean, one of my frustrations with Huda, like I'm always trying to watch this like with this empathetic lens, and like just I don't know, like again, I was on The Bachelor long ago, so like I have empathy for all you guys, and I know what it's like to watch something back and be like, you don't understand, and shit like that. But watching Huda, it was just like, to your point, like it's tough in a relationship where the person you're in conflict with, like every response is about their feelings. Because like we're all entitled to our feelings. I get it. But like I don't feel the same as you. So like how can we better understand? And it was always just about her feelings. Like I guess what I'm asking is like everything we saw in terms of her doing that felt that's how you felt in the villa. Like that wasn't editing or anything. Like like them taking like 2 times Huda talking about her feelings. Like was that a theme with Huda where she would constantly center her feelings when you guys were dealing with conflict?
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, it does seem like Huda's very Huda-centered. Narcissist comes to mind, emotional manipulation, emotional vampire. A lot of things come to mind with Huda. Self-centered is one of the first things. Powler says, I want to hear Bianca's take. She's always keen on stuff we miss, right? I want her on a live chat call. Bianca! Look, I dropped the link. Didn't I drop the link? I didn't put the link in the thingamabob? Well, we're going to come back and actually do a recap. I just wanted us to hear Jeremiah right now.
Yeah, it's hard because I wouldn't like badmouth her, but respectfully, yes, it is a lot of. I can say this because even the girls and Hannah, they all said this when they talked to her. It was like, yeah, respectfully, it's a lot of I. In any conversation, it's a lot of I. So.
Yeah, listen, I get it. I'm asking the questions. I know you want to be a gentleman here, but like I think again, like that's why we watch these shows. We appreciate, like you're clearly not coming in here to like talk shit, and things like that. But so I do appreciate you being upfront and trying to walk delicately with these answers. That being said, like if Huda were here, right, like what do you think her response would be? And I guess like what is your optimism that Huda's going to come out of this and kind of like be like, oh shit, like I kind of see what other people are seeing now, or I see what Jeremiah is seeing. Do you think she has that self-awareness and that ability to grow, or do you think it's going to be a challenge for her when she gets out?
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say yes. I think maybe when she watches it back, she realized like almost everything she said was rooted in or I maybe did this, or I might have been toxic, or I might have done this. So yeah, I think she'll come out of here and see some things. I know that I haven't seen some things.
Jeremiah is so gracious. I'm telling you guys, they did not want him on that show. He was too gracious. He was not toxic. He was not messy. He was not a stereotype in any way. Another one was Jalen, the country boy, just a good old boy. And the America had voted Jalen to go with Alondria. And he was also a gentleman, loves his grandma, loves his grandpa, is all about family, not toxic, not drama, loves the Lord, puts God first, like all kind of stuff, just like the polar opposite of Ace, the polar opposite of Nick. Taylor he's not super over the top or anything. We really don't know a lot about Taylor except for he's a goofball. But as far as like the energy of a ranking of toxic masculinity on set, toxic being the highest, Jeremiah and Jalen were not on the ranking. They were not toxic at all comparatively. They weren't being man whores. Their histories also showed that They didn't drop it low and spread it wide all over where they're from and everything. They're very thoughtful about and intentional about how they move in life. And I think that wasn't appreciated on this show. They want somebody to crash out with Huda. They want somebody to yell back at Huda, you know. But the way Jeremiah acted with Huda, being so gracious and understanding, even though he was the victim of her, actually humanized Huda, because people were like, "Oh, if he's not tripping, then why are y'all tripping?"
On myself too, so yeah, I think it's fair to say that I hope she can come out here and see some things where it's like, oh shit, okay, maybe.
Initially, when America matched you with Iris, it was like her narrative, at least what we saw, was her being like, yeah, you must be doing shit behind my back, Jeremiah, because America's trying to protect me. Now, granted, like in fairness to Huda, like Alandria, I think like kind of like planted that seed. Obviously, the girls were just like having her back, and like, but she really took that bait, so to speak. And then is that how it felt in the villa? Like, how much of that 4-hour or 2-hour fight conversation was her trying to figure out what you were doing wrong?
No, yeah, she said that. She was like, you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and America saw that, and that's why they took you, and this, that, and the third. And like, she was like, when I make, I'm not saying this actually, I'm trying to be an asshole, but she was like, when I say cute comments, you make faces and people see that, but the cute comments are jokes about kids or marriage. So she'll say a joke about kids or marriage, and I'll be like, what? Like, da da da. And she'll take.
Yeah, he was like furrowed in his brow, like, we're not getting married yet. I'm not a baby daddy yet. And so Huda, when they recoupled Jeremiah and Huda, I'm telling you, because she got positive reinforcements. This is how it is with kids, you guys. You give a child a positive reinforcement for a temper tantrum, then they'll think the temper tantrum wasn't a problem, to the point where, oh, America's on my side, even though because my temper tantrum doesn't mean nothing compared to you furrowing your brow at the thought of being my baby daddy's daddy.
That is me not liking her as much as she likes me. So I'm like, I already lost at that point. But yeah, it was just things like that. Like,
okay, yeah. She's like, she's talking about your wedding, and you're not responding the way you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we move on from Huda, like, I guess, like, what are your final thoughts on that relationships? Like, any regrets? I know, like, you have no regrets, but like, just being a little bit more reflective.
Yeah.
How would you want people to like just feel about that relationship, or just make whatever thing clear, for people who have a lot of opinions about your guys' relationship?
Okay, I would say one, it was very real and very genuine off the bat. It got a little toxic due to me not nipping in the bud the crazy expectations that she had set for me early, and then the communication at the end was just not being perceived well. When I was trying to de-escalate, she would kind of crash out. But at the end of the day, yeah, I just know that moving forward, like what I went from it is not being intimate too soon. And then when I feel something about this is moving way too fast, instead of just like dealing with it or trying to be Superman because I like the girl, to be like, well, like I'm not comfortable with this. But at the end of the day, it was very real, and like we still have a lot of a love for each other. But
he literally just said he was not comfortable with that, and that lends itself to the harassment and abuse that he received. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just our communication styles, I'll just say that, are a little different.
Okay. Lately, I've definitely been trying to eat cleaner, and just as a
okay, you guys, we're almost done.
I don't think she would have, honestly. Actually, I'm capped, because she did until
work. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com/podcast. That's Grammarly.com/podcast. Grammarly works across more than 500,000 apps and websites.
Grammarly
so super easy to integrate with whatever your business is running on. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose, only something to gain.
Grammarly works great, but it's kind of like the devil, because I've been forgetting how to spell regular words, because I know Grammarly will just correct it, but I like to still keep my senses sharp and stuff, and so I don't let it. I won't just hit the correct word. I'll go back and retype the correct words. You know what I mean? Just so I stay sharp, you guys.
That night that we got recoupled, that she was calling me, a bitch and a liar, and if I made her food, she'd shove it in my face. And I just don't do that. Like, that's not how I treat people. Like, I don't do that to people. So I was like, once I heard that, it was like, no matter what she said, it was kind of over with. Even though I tried a couple more times just to see what was going on. Recoupled, that she was calling me.
Okay.
When you got dumped off the island, you guys actually, you had a final conversation, and she said that she truly thought that she was going to end up with you. Do you feel like if you had not got dumped, that she was going to still try to pursue you and end up with you?
It's hard to say. Honestly, it wouldn't matter for me, because the stuff she was saying about me, that's the thing that really took me out of it, was that night that we got recoupled, that she was calling me, a bitch and a liar, and if I made her food, she'd shove it in my face. And I just don't do that. Like, that's not how I treat people. Like, I don't do that to people. So I was like, once I heard that, it was like, no matter what she said, it was kind of over with, even though I tried a couple more times just to see what was going on. But I don't think she would have, honestly. Actually, I'm capped, because she did until, I don't know how much y'all saw, but literally every day up until I left, she would try to, talk to me or kiss me or do something like that. So honestly, maybe, but I don't know what bombshells I would have brought in for her, but I don't know honestly. Probably, maybe.
Okay. I keep saying I'm going to move on from Huda, but that night that you match up with Iris, where Huda like got out of her bed and sat in the hallway, and the next morning you were like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't go to you." What did you mean by that when you apologized to her that you like couldn't go there? I'm glad you didn't, because it felt like she was like, you know, running game and just like wanted you to go out there and chase her. But like, what did you mean that you couldn't go out there?
We're like, once we're in our beds, we're supposed to stay in our beds. I think I said that. Like, once we're in our beds for the night, you stay in your beds for the night. You don't go to other people's.
Okay, so the night they got recoupled, I did show her the picture, and I wish I could show it now. Darn. Look, at least we're all still live, so I'll show the pictures later. I've shown them before. Of they sleep in the dark, but it has night vision in there. And Huda was getting up, walking around the room, looking in the bed, staring at them in the beds and stuff. And I asked the person who turned me on to the show, I was like, "Oh, are people supposed to get up at night?" She's like, "Nope, they're not supposed to do that." And she got up, and I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Well, yeah, she was not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to get up and go talk to anybody else in the room at night." So she was breaking all the rules, cussing people out, being verbally abusive, sexually harassing people, leaving hickeys on their bodies, not respecting their boundaries. And all she did is still getting rewarded, you guys.
Beds are, you know, essentially.
Understood. That makes sense. That being said, do you think she was hoping that you would not abide by those rules?
Yeah, there's a lot of times we almost got in trouble for like some rule breaking stuff. But yeah, it's hard to say. Cause I'm like, I want to be there for her, but then that was the same night I heard all those crazy things she said about me. So I was just like, that's where I kind of draw the line. Like, I already been so patient in my opinion for some things. So, but when you're calling me out my name to your friends, like screaming,
look, Jeremiah, you were really patient in our opinion too, bruh. You get the Emmy for the most patient, most gracious Black man ever seen on TV getting cussed out by a Karen.
I'm a bitch to your friends. I'm just like, I can't do that. Okay. I can't.
One last final question. America got to see.
And that's a sign of high self-worth and self-respect, to have a definite boundary on being disrespected by that woman en masse. I'm glad that and we saw it. I felt he was totally off her. He was willing to sleep with Iris every night, who he didn't even give a damn about, and develop a friendship with her over allow himself to be abused by her one more moment.
But to talk a lot of shit about like some of the women, like Amaya and then Iris when she came in. Were you guys aware of like how she was like talking shit about like the bombshells when they came in? Is it like a threat to you?
Yeah, no, day one of Amaya, she definitely told me how much she did not like her because she made a comment about me or something. Because it's like half scary, half cute. I'm like, oh, you really care about me, but oh shit, okay, that's kind of crazy that you're doing all that. But yeah, she definitely let it be known day 1 and 2 that Amaya was actually not like Amaya. And then not too much about Iris, honestly. I can't remember if she said too much to me about Iris, but I just know like my first conversation with Iris, I kind of shut it down. Like I was like, oh, me and her are really good, da da da. But I don't remember her talking too much about Iris to me. I could be wrong. I can't remember it.
Oh, and then like the S&M date where she was like, "All right, lock it up," when you were making out with a bombshell. Like, did you see that as like her like fucking around, or like did that feel like she was being hypocritical?
Yeah, no, that day. See, these are the cracks where like I didn't fully recognize because I'm so worried about some other shit. But like just things like that where it's like not even a double standard, but just like scary shit like her. Like I just watched the episode yesterday, like her like doing that crazy shit. It's like that would have been cute if we were dating or like months into a relationship or like closed up. You know what I'm saying? But like her like going crazy with the 2 guys and then me and Iris barely kissing and she's like, all right. She said like, all right, bitch, hurry it up or something. Like that to me, I'm just watching it back and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is not healthy. This is not healthy at all.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the boys for a second. America has a lot of opinions. Before we get into the boys, I want to play you something that I thought was like it.
Okay. So when I was able to show the pictures at the beginning of this video, I showed you the boys that they're about to talk about Ace. They're about to talk about Taylor. They're about to talk about Nick. They're about to talk about Austin. So let's see what they say about the boys.
It's gone viral. This is essentially how America feels about the men who voted you off. I want you to watch this clip and then we'll go. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, hit it, Leah.
Snitches and rats are not the same thing. Let me break it down to make sure y'all see what I mean. A snitch is someone minding other folks' business to find information they can sell for a price or trade for some other form of compensation. A rat is a traitor or physical participator. He doesn't sell secrets for power or cash. He betrays the trust of his team
or
his family, hoping to save his own cowardly ass. The difference is that at least a snitch is human, but a rat is a fucking rat.
God,
Ooh,
Yeah.
So you guys couldn't see the video they just showed. Hey, Anya, thanks for coming through. Yes, and Palaver, thank you. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the bell. Let's get the people in here because we're going to be Love Islanding for the next 21 days, y'all. We got 21 days left. Yes, and Bianca, thank you for being here. She is my right-hand woman. I love her. Mod of the year, okay? But in the video they just showed, it was that was Morgan Freeman's voice, right? That was Morgan Freeman's voice. And they were saying the difference between a snitch and a rat. So they showed Ace's picture as the snitch because he was the one who was verbally kept on accosting Jeremiah, talking about your game, your game, your game. You're not playing the game. Your game sucks. Your game sucks. And Nick didn't say much, but kept saying that, oh, I'm your best friend, Jeremiah. I'm your best friend. But now everybody is kind of feeling like Ace was the mouthpiece for Nick. So Nick is the snitch, but no, Ace is the snitch. I'm sorry, you guys. Ace is the snitch, and Nick, who said he was Jeremiah's best friend, the Dutch guy, is the rat. Okay? He's the rat because freaking Jeremiah was Nick's main competition as far as the new guys in the house. I mean, they have aesthetically, they're both models. I mean, that look like models. Taylor is an up and coming model, and Austin is a pool boy, and Ace was a dancer. So yeah. Look, Bianca, don't rush. By the way, they pulled rug as usual last 2 episodes. Yes, but watch it. Yeah, but you have to start at the beginning. That's what you have to start. That's the fucked up part about it. Like you have to just have 2 days now to catch up because every day is an episode. And I tried to start from just number 7. My friend was like, oh, watch. They were already on 14. I was like, oh, let me, no, they were already on 12. I was like, let me just start at 7. She's like, oh, no, Larger, you have to go back to the beginning because it's really important how the people come in the house and it makes a difference on like, you have to see the bombshells arrive and all this other stuff. So you have to start at the beginning. Okay.
Man, it's all, yeah, I don't know, it's got like millions of views. It only got 800,000 likes. But you and Nick were boys. When he left, he called you like his best friend. You were the one. He was the one guy that like Huda greenlit you, like telling Huda was a mom. Yeah. Basically to break it down for you, America feels like Ace was like the ringleader of like that cliquey group of Nick and Taylor. Yeah. Nick certainly like had his moments, but like clearly again, you're a great looking guy. You clearly like you seem to be independent. Like you're not a follower. You seem like you made friends with the guys, but like you weren't like trying to be a clique. And it really felt like we were watching a clique of men. And listen, like you got to like you hooked up with Huda, whatever. Maybe you didn't like make the right moves, but whatever. And then like Andrina comes in, the bombshell, like obviously a gorgeous woman. Like a lot of guys were attracted to her. Like she liked you, and it honestly felt like when they got a chance to like get the best competition off the island, because it's like you got first dibs, and they were like getting leftovers. They took that chance, friend or not, and they voted your ass out. Like, do you see it any differently than America?
No, not at all.
I'm glad he asked it that way because that's exactly what we've said over here on LRGA Curves. The haters was hating. So now let's listen. It sounds like Jeremiah saw the hate too.
Oh, and it was when that happened, I got voted off. I wanted to just like say my piece, but I was just like, I just wasn't time to do that, and I'm not one to just talk shit about someone. So it was just like, it was honestly just more like not heartbreaking, but just like betrayal. Like y'all told me for 2 weeks to go and hoop. I start hooping. You know what I'm saying? I do the right things with Andrina. I'm like, we're doing friendship, best friends first. I'm doing, our values are finally lining up, and then they still kick me off. I was like, they're just not. Them's not my peoples, is all I can say. Them's not my people.
Not your people.
So, like, I guess with Nick, right?
Oh, look, he gets to pull a Garcelle. All skinfolk ain't kinfolk. What you say, Ace? And look, Anya, you disagree with what? What does Vile mean by leftovers? That's gross. Okay, so leftovers I feel like he's talking about is because Huda was very aesthetically pleasing, being almost Kim Kardashian lookalike. And then the Andriana comes in very aesthetically pleasing, Kim Kardashian lookalike. And the boys, obviously, when they walked in, liked those 2 girls. But those 2 girls liked Jeremiah and were only giving Jeremiah energy. So that means that they shared their energy first with Jeremiah, which by proxy leaves whatever's left over of their energy for the other people. I think the leftovers, it does sound gross, but not as gross as that milk challenge.
Like, yeah, how quickly did you realize he wasn't the best friend that you thought he was early on? Like, how?
And you can't see it, Anya, but he said leftovers and did air quotes. He's saying best friend doing air quotes. He's saying villain doing air quotes. Like all of the words that could be like some type of label is an air quote, by the way. So I think like the same way you did quote leftovers, he's doing leftovers just the same way, darling.
Obvious was it to you that this was a very cliquey group of men?
Oh shit, probably the first week, honestly. But the thing is, at the same time, we had so many good moments. Like they were so funny. So there'd be times where I'm like, the clip would kind of disband for a little bit, and then some shit would go down, and it would get right back to it. And I'm like, fuck, I thought we were over this. And me and Nick had so many good chats about like our friendship and stuff outside of this. But at the end of the day, it was kind of just like Nick and Taylor just really, respectfully followed whatever Ace said. And yeah, that's the thing about, sorry, not off topic, but like Taylor never actually said anything to me about a lot of nothing. But then watching it back, he's had a lot to say, but about me, but not to me. So that would also caught me off guard because I didn't think he was like that. But yeah, long story short, I think I just wanted Nick to be, it was more one-sided than I thought. Like I was like, that's my guy, but then his actions were showing otherwise, and I kind of was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, bro.
How did you feel about Nick the next day after you left the island? Like said something like, well, like there's a lot of opportunity now, available. Yeah, it was some reference to that. Like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I knew what it was. Like he pulled me aside, tried to talk to me, and I was just being respectful because I knew if I snapped, I wouldn't have snapped. But like if I knew if I lost my cool, then I would have been boom, boom, boom. Like I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first 2 days I was gone, I was pretty pissed because I thought those were my guys. But then like the smart thing to do was vote me off because they seen I was hooping. Like the bombshell came in, Adriana, she's drop dead gorgeous and hilarious, and we had a strong connection already. So they seen that and decided to kick me out. So at the end of the day, it's a game show or a show. So they made the strategic move, but it still felt like betrayal.
Do you think it was like Nick and Ace that voted you off, or do you think Ace was really like the ringleader?
To me, it always felt like Ace was a ringleader. And like I said, I'm from Oakland where real men worry about their motherfucking business, not the next man's business. That's a PSA to a real one, okay? If you want to be a real one, you're only paying attention to your game. Kobe Bryant's not paying attention to LeBron's game. LeBron's not paying attention to Michael Jordan's game. Michael Jordan's not paying attention to Will Chamberlain's game. Real champions, real warriors are only concerned with their game. You are not going to another man on the court talking about, well, you should shoot the ball like this. You should shoot the ball like that. You should run back and forth like this. That's not real shit. That's bitch shit. Because obviously you have too much time on your hands to take care of your shit that you're worried and about my business, Ace, that you're worried and about my business, Taylor, that you're worried and about my business, Nick. That's some bitch Mitch mentality as far as I'm concerned. So let's finish this up. We're almost done, you guys. Thanks for coming through. Smash the buttons.
And really driving that conversation.
Oh man, it's so hard to say because Ace has always been like the ringleader driving the conversation. They kind of just like, yeah, he's right. So honestly, I don't.
You guys, did you see how he just heard? Listen, he said, yeah, he's right. Like he's little. Oh.
To that, like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I knew what it was. Like he pulled me aside, tried to talk to me, and I was just being respectful because I knew if I snapped, I wouldn't have snapped. But like if I knew if I lost my cool, then I would have been boom, boom, boom. Like I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first 2 days I was gone, I was pretty pissed because I thought those were my guys. But then like the smart thing to do was vote me off because they seen I was hooping. Like the bombshell came in, Adriana, she's drop dead gorgeous and hilarious, and we had a strong connection already. So they seen that and decided to kick me out. So at the end of the day, it's a game show or a show. So they made the strategic move, but it still felt like betrayal.
Do you think it was like Nick and Ace that voted you off, or do you think Ace was really like the ringleader and really driving that conversation?
Oh man, it's so hard to say because Ace has always been like the ringleader driving the conversation. They kind of just like, yeah, he's right. So honestly, I don't know. It was probably all three of them. I just know I knew there was a chance I was going to leave, but I didn't think it would be me above Austin or Pepe.
I thought it was Bush League that Taylor delivered the news. I thought at least Ace would be man enough.
Yeah, exactly. That they couldn't even look. And another thing that pissed me off was that when Jalen and Charlie left, like they all came in the room and explained to them why they voted. But for me,
yeah, when Jalen and Charlie left, they were like, "Oh, bruv, the reason I voted for you this way was," and oh, bruv, da 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 da, right? And then Jalen, I don't think they did it with Jalen. They didn't really know Jalen like that, but they said it. And I noticed that when Jeremiah left, they were giddy. It was almost a feeling of giddy came across the TV waves. Okay.
All I got was it wasn't personal, and I love you. Like I didn't get a single like man to man word of why they voted it.
There's some fan theories out there that because early on that actually Ace had the hots for Huda, and in the spirit of like the opposite of love is not hate. Even though he seemed to be very opinionated about Huda, I guess there's some like Instagram likes. He's been liking her page. I don't know if it's people running his account or from in the past. I don't know. Yeah. But like, what do you have to say about the fans who think that like Ace kind of secretly has a thing for Huda?
I mean, he did kiss her during the blindfold challenge, so I can see that. And yeah, he just likes mess, which I get. But honestly, there could be truth to it, honestly, because he did kiss her for the blindfold thing. And I honestly think ever since I curved Yalisa with the cheek kiss and he got stole, that he ain't like me because
he curved Alisa with the cheek kiss. Oh.
Stolen from Shelly, and he liked Shelly, so maybe that's where it started.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, like if you're not going to follow Ace, he's not comfortable with you doing your own thing, and like it was just clear that you did not need his approval the way that Taylor and Nick seemed to need it, and that clearly rubbed him the wrong way. Do you think he will see that and reflect and own up to that when he gets out of the villa, or do you think he'll make some kind of excuse?
Honestly, I think he'll just say that I wasn't playing the game right, or I wasn't doing Love Island right, and that's why he made the decisions he made. I think that's probably what he'll say.
Well, America knows it was his insecurity, so there's a lot of memes of
a lot of memes are going around about insecurity. I actually over here said, you think Ace did that because he wishes he was a little bit taller, wishes he was a baller, wish he had a girl who looked good who would call her? Yeah, wish he had a rabbit in a mat and a 6-foot collar. I don't even know if those are the words, you guys.
About Ace's feet not touching the ground, floating around right now.
Oh my God. All the memes about Ace's feet not touching the ground. Look, and that's what I said. I don't want to like really knock him for being short. I don't know how much he can take. But his energy was definitely given Napoleon, like, I'm in charge. Bring me my pastries. Like, he was really acting like that, Ace is. And I love Ace on Instagram teaching people around the world how to dance. I do not like Ace on Love Island trying to tell a man how to do a man thing when you're not even doing what you're telling another man to do. That's another reason why I don't appreciate Ace, is because he's not even doing what the fuck he's telling other people to do. So how are you in charge? I mean, you represent the Lollipop Kids, and how did you get in charge? Okay? We represent the Lollipop Kid, the Lollipop Kid, the Lollipop Kid. We represent the Lollipop Kid. Yeah, okay, Ace.
Because they're mad that he sent you home. So if that makes you feel, I mean, you don't seem like a petty guy. We could be petty for you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, America's really, they're being like called like the Mean Girls, Regina George, shit like that.
Cool.
So.
Oh my gosh, have you seen the meme of Ace, Taylor, and Nick's heads on the Mean Girls' bodies? Yes. Okay. They've been making all kind of memes with they got AI. Somebody did an AI with a tiny, teeny Ace-like person with his legs swinging on a couch next to Nick and Taylor. It's really bad. Knowing what we know about Love Island history, it's irresponsible for Nick to highlight his height. Okay, so but it's being highlighted, and we were talking about that, Anya, is that the history is that there have been several self-unalivings, and that's why Ariana and the producers are publicly asking, even within the show, please be mindful of our bullying. They're asking people to go back and remove comments because people have to come home and face the music, so to speak. And I also feel like if you're going to put these young kids in a position to do things for fame, then you also need to help them by making them shut the fuck up sooner instead of allow them to melt down for 2 days, right? If Ace is doing a disservice to the game by going around trying to have other people do a game according to his will, then somebody should pull his coattail and make him shut up about that, because now we have feelings about it. You see what I'm saying? And I did also, earlier, Palaver, on that, I did also say that the Napoleon complex is a complex about a mentality that a short man had. So the whole I don't feel like that's total body shaming to do that parallel. It's just that Napoleon happened to be short and insecure and wanted to control everybody's every move. And it's looking like Ace is doing the same thing. But you're right. I'm not contributing in any way to anybody's degradation. like I say, you can look at me and say I'm fat. You don't have to call me that. We can look at Ace and see his height. We don't have to mention that. And of course, hey, freedom of speech. All the bets are off, but still be mindful and kind. Yeah, let's try it.
Right. No, I get it. I definitely get the Migos reference. That's definitely what it felt like at the end, for sure.
Well, Ace, I really appreciate your time, man. Is there anything, like, I didn't get to ask you, I know you gotta go, but, like, is there any, like, final thought? Oh, I called you Ace, fuck, now I Ace. Fuck, Jeremiah, I can't thank you enough for your time, man. Sorry, I got Ace's, like, little feet just, like, in my mind. I've seen too many memes of that guy.
Oh, great.
Final thoughts, man. Just what can you leave us with? What, if I didn't get to ask you anything that you want to make you get the word out, like, now's the time.
Yeah, well, I would say first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. This is like my first, like, doing anything like this. And so, like, thank you for just, like, even nothing but welcoming. And, like, so generally feel like a conversation with the bro. So I want to thank you for that. Two, the Love Island team, crew, cast, like, everybody was just phenomenal to work with. Like, it was truly one of the most, like, just, like, not life-changing, but just, like, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities ever. So I just want to thank them for everything. And I wish nobody in the villa still the best. Even though you did me dirty, I wish you the best. And, yeah, I'm going to try to see what's next.
All right, man. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. You seem like a really stand-up guy who's, like, willing to look in the mirror and always make changes. I really appreciate your time. Do you think, one, like, final question, do you think there's any couple right now that is currently existing that you has a chance of ending up together and winning Love Island?
Oh, man. Honestly, I think that it was going to be Pepe and Anna, but I guess right now, I think Taylor and Alandria have a good shot at the end of the day. I think they have a good shot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't see last night's episode when Alandria got voted off the island because she don't want to do what the damn America says. America said get with Jalen. She's like, no, I want Taylor. America said go over to Casa thing and we're going to get you some older gentlemen to choose from so you don't have to get them young and train them. And she's like, no, I want Taylor. And so, yeah, you just got tailored off the island. You got tailored off the island, Alandria. Came in a fan favorite. I just voted for Nick and Olandria in the last vote last Friday, and I voted for them as my faves. And because I just figured Jeremiah would be safe, and instead I should have voted for Jeremiah. Next time I'm not going to do what's safe. I'm going to do what's called for. Okay, and that was a great interview. Will you guys have any thoughts on that interview? Let's see. Anya disagrees with the Napoleon complex. Leave people's size and height out of it. Hey, Napoleon is a historical figure who happened to be short and have a horrible complex, and he did start wars, like Palaver said. You know, he totally started freaking wars, just like Ace started a little war. That's a Napoleon complex. It's not our fault that they're both short. It's not our fault. And hey, we're in a whole time and space where all of a sudden we got to be sensitive. It's interesting that now we get to be sensitive when for my whole life people you could say what you wanted and it was up to you to the person hearing it needed to do what they needed to do to rectify it. But the person saying it got to reside in free speech and whatever. Now, I know be kind, be compassionate, have empathy, but you're still allowed to have a thought and an opinion. And it's not always going to be, unicorns and rainbows. And honestly, there is a similarity between a Napoleon complex. I'm going to Google this shit first. Let me see. What is a Napoleon complex? Is a Napoleon complex. Look, it's listening to me. A Napoleon complex, also known as short man syndrome, AI said it, not us, is popular belief that shorter men tend to overcompensate for their perceived inferiority by exhibiting an aggressive or domineering behavior. This term is often used as a colloquy to describe individuals who display excessive ambition, hostility, or a need to control others, often attributed to feelings of inadequacy related to their height. While the term is widely used, it's important to note that it is not recognized as a psychological disorder. The concept stems from the popular perception of Napoleon Bonaparte, who was often depicted as short and aggressive, though his actual height was actually average at that time. More detail, the origins derived from an image of Napoleon Bonaparte, who is frequently portrayed in cartoons as short and aggressive. The depictions were meant to intend as a mockery, contributing to the stereotype of short men compensating for their perceived lack of stature through domineering behavior. While Napoleon's height is debated, it's the stereotype persists. The psychological aspects of a Napoleon complex is often associated with Alfred Adler's theory of inferiority complex, where individuals may overcompensate for perceived shortcomings. In the context of Napoleon complex, this overcompensation might manifest as excessive aggression, hostility, or a strong desire for power and control. Some individuals may also pursue ambitious goals to alleviate feelings of inadequacy. While not clinically diagnosed, behaviors associated with it can be symptomatic and not a mental health issue. But there is a time to seek freaking professional help. What's it say? When to seek professional help. If feelings of resentment, worthlessness, or bitterness due to height are significantly impacting mental health, therapy can be beneficial. Therapy can help individuals understand the root causes of their behaviors and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Cognitive behavioral therapy can be a valuable tool for addressing any underlying issues related to self-esteem or negative thought patterns. So it's a bona fide saying for a reason, tested and tried over time. And I'm not sure that the current users of a Napoleon complex should be labeled as body shamers when there's a whole freaking complex about it. But again, it is about, we don't need to point out that he's short. We don't need to do that. We don't need to. I get it. I get it. I get it. And I respect it because, yeah. So there's some comments here. Palaver says, kindly let us know which casts are your faves. It doesn't matter. All opinions are welcome. All of them are welcome. I love the interview. Don't like Nick. One person at his school, okay. Multiple people online, no. Anya, did you feel bad for Jeremiah being called aggressive insults by Huda, asking for a friend, not judging? Shelves. Hi, Anya says, exactly, mockery. Hi, Shelves, larger. This is why I like you. Critical thinking is key. Yeah, it is. It is. And we have to we have to be willing to look at it from all sides. I am about grace and I am about conscious and self-aware and all that stuff, but I'm also keeping it real, you guys. It's called a Napoleon complex for a reason. I'm sorry. I didn't make it up. Napoleon made it up, and he was here a long ass time ago. So it's not my fault if I use it and that other people run to it based off of time-tested true behaviors from certain types of people. Hey, I don't know. So you guys, I gotta go make a run. I'm gonna come back after 4, and we're gonna get into episodes 20 and 21. Tonight is episode 22, after Olandria has been voted off the island with Nick. But they didn't leave because Olandria popped over to the villa and picked Nick up in the love Jeep, and they're going someplace else. So I can't wait. Oh, and oh my God, you guys. So all of my East Coast sisters, I can watch it in real time with you. Bianca, they put it on at the same time, like I told you, so we could call together. And yes, deflecting to Huda. No, we weren't deflecting to Huda. We were just asking you, do you only have opinions for Ace being called things, or do you also want to hold Huda responsible for all of her behavior? Because that's also equally as abhorrent, and people can find issue with that too. So I think that might be the thing. It's not a deflection. It was literally just wondering, if we're not body shaming, then is it okay to emasculate? If we're not body shaming, then is it okay to disrespect? If we're not body shaming, then is it okay to crash out on a person for 2 days on TV without any recourse or like readjustments on that? And now she gets to play like she's been playing nice all this whole time. Please. rewarding her abhorrent behavior. Sorry, but May Menace, get it? Menace the dentist. Wait, what was it? Dennis the Menace. So the Menace Ace, they're spelling Menace with ACE at the end, you guys, is exhibiting, yep, I'm calling it. The Huda Hive is spreading to content creator spaces. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, look, hey, Huda Hive can come on over here and buzz all you want. I got raid. I got raid. I got raid. Oh my gosh, because we could go head to head about what I feel about Huda cussing out that black guy who looked like my son. Bitch, you picked the wrong one on the right day, Huda. Come through. Come through. I want Huda lovers to come through and tell me, how does she get a pass? How does she get a pass? I mean, I've already said it. I've been Huda before too. But on TV, I was never Huda. Okay? And I got called on my shit. Okay? Yes, turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on, please. Okay, Curvies, I appreciate you for coming through. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring my bell so you can get notified when I come live later and we talk about episodes 21 and 20. Okay? Love you guys. See you in the next video. Peace.